few questions out there in the meetup group to kind of see who knew what. But now we have different people showed up, and some people couldn't take it. I want to get a sense of kind of what we have in the room. Let's start at the beginning. Who's never touched a Google AdWords campaign at all? Okay. So let me look at the other extreme. The other extreme of that. Who's managed one for more than, let's say, a couple years? Okay. So everybody else is kind of somewhere in the middle there. So it gives me a good sense of kind of where we are. And this is going to be a real casual conversation. So feel free to talk as we're going. Talk to me, interrupt me. So we're going to talk about Google specifically. Google is a search engine that kind of tells you what you mean if you didn't type in what you mean. So this is actually a printout they did overseas. For someone who actually had, they searched for battleship, and they actually meant battleship. Google said, did you mean battleship? Yeah, that was original. So it's a printout they were doing overseas to kind of promote them a little bit, to really bring Google to the market front. So I'm going to talk a lot about Google specifically. And the reason is, this is kind of where we stand with Google right now in the search market space. This is so this is kind of where we are in market share. This is why I talk about Google. I don't have any loyalty to Google. I just know what the customers are. And 71% of the customer people that search in the U.S. are using Google right now. And you see Yahoo and Bing are right below. And they're in this process of merging together. So even when they do, we're talking about maybe 25%, which is still a significant amount, but it's not nearly the amount that Google is. So what I tell a lot of clients I work with is, I do recommend advertising on here, but I don't take away money from Google to do that. I spend what I have here first, and then if there's left over, we look at all these other avenues. No. Then at first, you know why I focus all my attention here? And if all of a sudden everybody switches to AOL, which I would hope not, that's what I'll be talking about tomorrow. That's just kind of why I talk about it. So I mentioned Yahoo and Bing are kind of merging together. I want to show you a video kind of where we stand with Yahoo and Bing.
Tired of search overload? Introducing Bing, the better way to Google. Bing helps you Google the best choice faster and shows related Googles right there on the results page. Bing knows what you like to Google and Googles it based on your previous Googles. Say you want to Google hotels in Dublin. Bing can Google that easy. With Bing, you can Google anything you can think of. Google hotel info, Google coffee shops, Google health information, Google restaurants. It's all Googled lightning fast by Bing. Stay informed with Bing's extra features. Google News, Google Docs, Google Images, and Google. So remember, the next time you Google something, Google it with Bing. That's Google. It with Bing.
That's what a lot of people kind of think of Bing right now. They still think of it as you're Googling with Bing. So it's out there, people are using it, but most people are still using Google. They're still thinking of Google. And we'll see if that changes in a year from now when Google and Yahoo and Bing kind of get their act together and start making a play. Right now, that's kind of where we are. So specifically, I'm talking a lot about the paid side of Google. For those of you familiar with it and not familiar with it, I'm sure you've seen it. This is the sponsored links that show up when you do a search. When you search for something, you see on the right side or the top side, it says sponsored results. The problem is with Google, one of the problems, the misnomers with Google AdWords, is it has kind of a bad rap for a lot of people. Because a lot of people ignore it. And I ignore it too. I ignore the ad most of the time. But it's that one or two times when I'm actually ready to buy something that I click on it. Which is where these AdWords kind of shines. Kind of like just a lot of commercials, these loud car commercials that we all ignore and we make fun of, but yet when it's time to buy a car, all of a sudden we say, oh wait a minute, maybe I should look and see what's going on here. Because that's kind of where Google AdWords works. And there's a lot of people who kind of do it wrong, who have a lot of money to throw at it. You see ads like this out there who just buys keywords on everything and hope some of it sticks. Large companies can do stuff like that. They buy keywords and everything and just kind of fill it into their ad and see what happens.
Wait a second. What is the truth? I mean, we all like to think we're very cool and sensitive to everything. But for the most people, when they do Google AdWords, are they paying attention to the ads that are paid? Or are they going down?
No, you're right. Most people do not click on the ads or even look at them. And I agree with that. But the problem is I don't need most people. I just need the people that are ready to buy, which is a very small percentage of surfers that are on there. So when it's time, they do click on it.
But the people that are ready to buy, are they going there or
yes.
Are they going?
They are going there. I mean, Google made a living off that. So clearly, that's how they're making their money. So clearly, people are clicking on it. That's where the bulk of Google's revenue is coming from.
The majority of people don't realize
There's a difference. Well, that was my question. I guess I didn't phrase it right, but that is my question. Is, do the majority of people know the difference between an ad and an organic
They
search?
don't, that's why it costs more to bid on the top of the page than the site, because they know that people are gonna go for the first thing that's relevant.
And there's a certain amount of people who do know the difference that go below.
But even
My
the
question
ones-
is,
even the ones you
what
know-
amount of people are that?
Even the ones you know still flip. I mean,
Still click on the ad?
yeah, because if you're looking for something, like if you're looking to buy a new pair of shoes and you see 50% off shoes,
You just
why would
wanna
you click?
click.
Because that's what you're looking for. If it's, and that's where Google works well. When it's done really specific on specific keywords and really targeted, whether geographically or demographically, really pinpoint down specific keywords. That's when it starts working. You have people like this who just buy generic stuff and it doesn't do anything. So I'm going to talk about some of the kind of new features I say new within the past year on Google. But as I was putting together this presentation, just yesterday, I was ready to go, had everything ready to go, and then Google announced a new product. So I figured my presentation is called What's New with Google. I got to put this in there, otherwise it doesn't make much sense. So just yesterday, just announced Google Boost. As of, excuse me, yeah, so at 9:30 Pacific time, they announced this, which was great. No one said I had to add these slides.
It's not in Nashville yet, in a couple months.
Now, Google Boost is, it's still early, so I'm going to kind of give you what I know with Google Boost. It's still early, they're not throwing all the details out yet. What they do is they take Google Places, which is these business listings you see when you search for something and an ad shows up. They take your Google Place listing and allow you to bid on an ad, put an ad together within that listing. And I'll show you an example here so you can see. See, this is the example, this is actually the example that Google provided. There's not a lot of examples out there of people doing it. This is you search for Asian restaurants in San Francisco. And the assumption is this search is actually done in San Francisco. So this listing, Spice Kit, they had a listing, a business listing, just like this. That they created, this part's free, that they created for free. But now Google's new Boost option allows you to pay to turn this listing into an ad. And I'll kind of show you how that's set up. Within Google Places, and everybody who has a business can create free Google Place listings. So if you haven't done that, make sure you do that. Go to Google Places and see if your business is there. If it is there, claim it. Make sure it's yours. It's out there, create it. And within that, you can choose at the next level to add ads onto that. And the idea behind Google Boost is it's a way for people to create ads who aren't familiar with AdWords, aren't familiar with text ads and ad groups and campaigns and keyword research. It's a quick way to do an ad. And that's all you have to, that's all the information you have to have. I should say the next page actually takes you to a credit card from there. That's all you have to set it up. It allows you to create an ad based on your listing. And it kind of takes you back, you can go back here. It allows you to create this space based on the listing you may already have here. So you can take what you have here, if you're here at the bottom, you can buy your way out basically, the results.
Question.
Yes.
Okay, if there's a company there, I can't see what spot I'm going to go, you have blue glasses, but, okay, JJJ advertising, and they have 14 locations. Where do they go buy those? Yeah, like,
Within the locations? Yeah, we're going to get that in a second. Location. I'll show you that in a second. We're going to need to do it. If you have multiple locations, how to use that. So let me kind of back up here. This is kind of the display ad that Google has. This is a brand new product just released yesterday. So here's kind of what we know about it so far. And there's not a lot of information. Now, right now they're only trying it in 3 cities, which seems odd that Houston would be here. I'm not sure. Chicago, San Francisco, and Houston. Supposedly, I'm seeing more people saying they can do it in their cities. That may be changing as we speak, but supposedly those are the trial cities. And like I mentioned before, it allows you to create these ads based on your location. Specifically, if you're a physical location that depends on people walking through your door, it allows you to create these ads without any information, without any knowledge of how to run AdWords, how to do ad text and campaign structure, all the stuff that I do think. Without having that knowledge, you can create your ad. And the idea is, and Google said this specifically in their press release, it's not designed for agencies to go in and create a bunch of listings. It's designed for an owner of a small business to go in and claim their listing and buy an ad space on it. So it's specifically targeted at small business. And again, it's kind of brand new, so we're kind of waiting to see how it's going to roll out. There's still a lot of questions on how it's going to work. You know, anybody who does AdWords knows that analytics is essential with AdWords when you see what's working and what's not working. So we don't know yet how this is going to tie into Analytics or Google Analytics yet, but they're still vague information on that.
So another bidding situation, you bid against the other.
What's supposed to happen is the other thing. That's the third one. The third one is, let me go back here. There's a presentation where they were more detail on how this is going to work. But keep an eye out for Google Boost. It's part of Google Places. All right, so another one I want to mention is kind of what you were talking about, Christine, about location extensions. Location extensions are these addresses that go inside the text tab. These are all paid ads. But what you can do, and it especially works if you're a large company, you have multiple locations, and you depend on, your business is dependent on somebody coming to your doors. This is where these come in handy. Because Google will determine where you're located and look at the locations in that database that you provide them, and they'll automatically show them the closest location to them. So, for this is an example for a store like Starbucks, for instance, who's ultimately dependent on people walking in the door. This is essential when somebody's searching for Starbucks. Before this, they would search for Starbucks, go to Starbucks website, click on the link that says find the nearest one, put in their zip code, and then go here. This allows you to bypass that whole process. So all Starbucks would have to do is put an ad up, and put that here, and then show them locations. And I'll expand that a little bit, kind of show you what these look like and get this plus list. Another advantage of this is, I mentioned the word 95. 95 is the number of characters you have to sell in your ad text. That doesn't include the actual URL, the actual selling space you have. And I'll kind of give you an example here, why that's essential. When I was in Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago doing a presentation, and I searched for Italian restaurant. And I thought this was great for this company. This company right here bought an ad for Italian restaurant. Because otherwise, I would have got these. Olive Garden, Bravas, and Montianos. If I'm looking for an Italian restaurant in Pittsburgh, I don't want this. So I thought that was brilliant for them. That was very little cost for them to do that. And I never even clicked on the ad. I was like, okay, Storm's restaurant. I can click on it or not click on it. Either way, it's worth it for them. So I thought that, and they're specifically targeting the Pittsburgh area. Yeah. So, but here's kind of the way we used to do things in the ad text world. And this is what they're doing. They're putting Pittsburgh right in their title, which makes sense. You want people to see their local restaurant. The problem with that approach is those 95 characters I talked about, you're now taking away from that by having to put that location in there. So now with location extensions, you can do something like this. Now they have the address right there, so I already know it's local. So now they can use that space for something else. They can push an ad, they can push a special, they can really get more information in that ad.
Super yummy Italian restaurant.
Location extensions.
And it's pulling your look.
Yes, it's a extension. I'll show you a screen in the shop.
Top 5.
And it knows you're in Pittsburgh just due to the IP address, or okay.
Yeah, I was actually myself over Pittsburgh when I did that.
So John, you still have the rule of 25, 35. 25 characters, top line, 35 with 35 is what, 95? It's up to 95. Oh, so it's 95 characters altogether for the three.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. So now they can put that there. So now it's always local. You have a phone number. You get more information in there. But you really have more room to sell that and use those location extensions. Here's another one.
I have a question.
Yep.
Instead of Pittsburgh, what would you say?
Right here. You come like I just put the name of the restaurant. This is what I made up. But you can really get more specific and say, what's today's menu, what's today's special, or discount on Thursdays, or really something really enticing.